On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu postpones scheduled trips to South Africa and Angola. Youths of Eruku community in Kwara State stage protest over church attack. And police cordon off PDP National Secretariat following violent clashes. And on the foreign scene, at least 25 killed, including 3 children, in Russian drone and missile attack on Tenopil. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. I am Femi Ojo. President Bola Tinubu has postponed his scheduled trips to Johannesburg in South Africa and Luanda, Angola. This is just as he waits for the security briefings on the kidnapped KB schoolgirls and the attack on Christ Apostolic Church worshippers in Eruku, Kwara State. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, on Wednesday afternoon revealed that in response to the request by the government of Kwara State, President Tinubu has ordered the deployment of more security men to Eruku and the entire Ekiti local government area of the state. He also directed the police to go after the bandits who attacked worshippers. The president was scheduled to leave Abuja today to attend the 20th G20 Summit of Leaders in South Africa and thereafter proceed to Luanda to attend the 7th AU Summit. However, according to Onanuga, the president will now await a report from Vice President Shatima, who has been directed by the president to visit KB on his behalf. Tinubu will also await reports from the police and the Department of State Services DSS regarding the attack in Kwara. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians and the families of students abducted in Maga, Kebbi, that the federal government would deploy all instruments of state to ensure the return of the schoolgirls. Tinubu's assurance came on Wednesday from Vice President Kashim Shatima during his visit to Kebbi to commiserate with the government and people of the state days after the abduction of the students. Shatima, who touched down on the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport alongside the national chairman of the ruling Progressive Congress, Netanwe Yitwada, and other members of his entourage on Wednesday, described the incident as unfortunate. He said the president's priority is the safe return of the schoolgirls. According to him, Brigadier General Musa Uba, who was killed by terrorists, will be honored alongside Hassan Makuku, the vice principal of Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School, where the incident happened. The attack on the KB school claimed the life of the school vice principal, Malam Hassan Makuku, who was reportedly killed while trying to prevent the bandits from taking the girls away. The police said on Monday that a combined tactical team were deployed to comb the forest in a bid to rescue the girls. The chairman of Danko Asago local government area, Hussaini Aliyu, has refuted the claim by the United States lawmaker Riley Moore, alleging that the abduction of the Maga schoolgirls occurred in a Christian area. Aliyu stated that all abducted schoolgirls are Muslims and urged the lawmaker to desist from making unverifiable statements capable of dividing the nation along religious and ethnic lines at a time when government efforts are focused on rescuing the girls. He noted that the Zulu Emirate, under which the Maga community falls, had never experienced a religious crisis. Lee wondered why the lawmaker chose to make comments that portray Nigeria in a negative light. In a post on X urging his followers to pray for the 25 girls, Riley claimed to have knowledge that the attack occurred in a Christian enclave in northern Nigeria, but said he did not have details on the incident. The attack on the KB school on Monday morning claimed the life of the school's vice principal, Malam Hassan Makuku, who was reportedly killed while trying to prevent the bandits from taking the girls away. Meanwhile, the Borno State Governor Babangana Zulu on Wednesday said the security situation in the state has significantly improved, declaring that the worst is over. Governor Zulu made a statement during a meeting with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Shaibu Waidi in Maduguri. While delivering his remarks, Zulu stated that compared to the peak of the crisis years ago, the current security landscape, despite recent setbacks, shows significant improvement. The governor emphasized that the war against terrorism requires collective effort, urging residents to be vigilant and provide timely intelligence to security operatives to prevent attacks and ensure lasting peace in the state. Zulum, however, commiserated with the Nigerian army over the recent tactical setbacks across the theater. Responding, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi, assured that Army headquarters will provide the necessary logistics to the troops and commended Zulum for his support to the armed forces. Still staying with security, former Kano State Governor Rabi Kwankwaso has called on the federal government to immediately investigate the worsening insecurity in Nigeria, citing a fresh wave of mass kidnappings and bandit attacks. In a statement on Wednesday via a verified X account, Kwankwaso condemned the abduction of 25 schoolgirls from the government girls' comprehensive secondary school in Maga, Kebbi State, which occurred early on Monday after gunmen stormed the school on motorcycles and exchanged fire with security agents. He also faulted the killing of Brigadier General Musa Uba in Borno State, calling the incident a dark mark the country's counter-terrorism fight and demanding a full probe into security and intelligence failures. Kwankwaso also lamented the mass kidnappings in Zamfara State, describing it as truly heartbreaking, urging authorities to rescue the abducted victims swiftly. He noted that recent bandit attacks in Shanunu and Sanyawa local government areas of Kano State also require urgent action. The Kano State Hisba Board has arrested 7 people for allegedly engaging in immoral activities at a joint along the Zoo Road in Kano Metropolis. The board's Deputy Commander General Mujahideen Aminuddin disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday. Aminuddin explained that while some suspects were from Kano, others hailed from Bauchi and Kogi State, adding that the oldest among them is 23 years. He revealed that operatives also apprehended a teenage boy and a young girl found in a compromising situation inside a tricycle. Youths of Iruku community in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State have staged a major protest after a late-night attack in the area by armed bandits. The protesters blocked the Ilorin-Kaba highway at the entrance of the town, causing heavy traffic disruption. The youth alleged that Tuesday's attack, which lasted close to an hour, occurred without any response from security operatives stationed in the community. The youth leader, Peter Adishin, also criticized the police, saying despite the community's support in building facilities for the division, officers did not act when residents needed them most. The Iruku attack is part of a recent wave of security incidents affecting border communities in Kwara State. 2 people were reportedly killed during the attack, while a parish of the Christ Apostolic Church CAC Okeshegun in Iruku was also attacked. Nigerians have been encouraged to ensure they have safe and decent toilets in their homes to prevent diseases and promote their dignity. This comes as the world marks World Toilet Day with the theme Sanitation in a Changing World. Favor Akinriola has this report.
Every November 19, the world marks World Toilet Day, and this year's theme is Sanitation in a Changing World, focusing on how climate change, urbanization, and other pressures are reshaping sanitation systems and the need to create future-ready solutions. Billions of people around the world still live without a safe toilet, with the poorest, especially women and girls, affected.
The land that is here is for somebody. They will not allow anybody to build toilets here. We wanted to try it, but since they are claiming it from us that they are the owner of the land, You see now, we have container here before. This man that owns this land, he says he's the one that owns the land. So he now drive everybody. That is the reason we are inside the sun now. So we cannot make any toilets here.
According to the United Nations, the campaign "Will Always Need the Toilet" is a core message that underscores the constant and fundamental need for sanitation to protect health and the environment, even as challenges arise. It's a call to action to protect and expand access to safe and secure toilets for everyone.
There are some strangers, some people, some people just think they can walk into some banks or eateries just to toilet. I've seen people like that. So I think it will be a very good idea if there is a public toilet and that can be accessible to everyone.
The theme, Sanitation in a Changing World, emphasizes how climate change, population growth, and other global shifts are creating new challenges for sanitation systems and calling for a shift towards more resilient and future-ready infrastructure. It also highlights that access to sanitation is a human right that is fundamental to public health, gender equality, and sustainable development.
We have structures in the communities that are maintaining those toilets for sustainability purpose. And those people are called washcom. So 10 women, 5 women, 5 men. So that they sit down together, they look into how are we going to maintain these toilets so that we can use it for a longer period.
The Nigerian government also marks the World Toilet Day by launching revised strategic plans such as a Clean Nigerian Strategic Plan, eradicating open defecation, holding advocacy campaigns, collaborating with partners like United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, World Health Organization, and holding stakeholders accountable for sanitation goals. This commitment by the federal government is a part of the larger effort to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 6 of universal access to safe sanitation by 2030.
There is a very fast-growing urban settlement, urbanization in all our states. And so, to be able to address this, we need to advocate to the government to now take a special look at our urban centers, whether there is adequate planning for wash in these areas that will accommodate every need of every citizen that are settling around our.
The WHO UNICEF 2025 report indicates that 3.4 billion people still lack safely managed sanitation, and 22% of schools worldwide lack basically sanitation services, impacting education. Currently, 354 million people still practice open defecation, increasing the risk of disease and harm, especially for women and girls. Only 58% of the global population uses a safely managed sanitation service, which includes safely treated or disposed of waste. According to the WHO and UNICEF, in low-income countries, progress needs to increase 18-fold to ensure at least basic sanitation. Favor Akinriola, Western Spring Television News.
And now to politics. The police have cordoned off the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, following the clash between two factions of the party on Tuesday. Barbed wire was used to create a barrier to prevent anyone from gaining access to the premises of the party's headquarters at Wadata Plaza in Abuja. However, a chieftain of the faction led by Kabiru Turaki opposed the decision of the police to barricade the premises. He vowed that the Turaki-led group would come to their office as no one would stop them. The crisis in the party took a twist on Tuesday when rival groups clashed at the PDP secretariat. Security operatives were stationed at the secretariat with Samuel Anyanwu and others loyal to the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, insisting they would not vacate the place. Chaos broke out when Turaki, Governor Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, and Bala Mohammed Obuchi and other members of the newly elected PDP executives arrived at the premises. The police fired tear gas as Anyanwu supporters tried to block the group from entering the secretariat. Turaki later said on Tuesday he had assumed office as the national chairman of the PDP. His resumption came after the standoff at the party secretariat in Abuja. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court Abuja has fixed January 15, 2026 for the commencement of the trial of two leaders of the Ansaru terrorist group, Mahmoud Usman and Abubakar Abba, who were captured by the Department of State Services, the DSS. The trial, which was initially slated to begin on Wednesday was put off by the trial judge following pleas by their counsel for time to enable him to be served with the charges and to study the charges' proof of evidence. As the day's proceedings, counsel for the accused persons, B.A. Bakum, told the court that the charge and proof of evidence was still with the DSS, where the terror suspects were being detained on the orders of the court. The lawyer prayed the court that the two defendants be moved to a correctional center to enable easy access and ensure a prompt and hitch-free trial. However, counsel for the DSS, David Kaswe, opposed the defendant's lawyer's prayer. While in a brief ruling, Justice Nwite said he would, in the interest of fair hearing, consider the submission of the defendant's lawyer and move the trial to a future date. Usman and Abba have been prosecuted for terrorism by the DSIs. The Senate on Wednesday waded into the long-standing leadership crisis at the Equipment Leasing Registration Authority, reopening investigations into the alleged unlawful removal of the agency's former acting chief executive officer, Seidu Njida. The crisis, which has festered since mid-2023, began after the federal government dissolved the governing boards of ministries, departments, and agencies shortly after President Bola Tinubu assumed office. The dissolution, announced through a circular from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, plunged ILRA into a prolonged administrative vacuum. The absence of a clearly communicated transition or disengagement process deepened tension within ILRA, leading to accusations of arbitrary decision-making, stalled operations, and a spate of petitions from aggrieved stakeholders. It was against this backdrop that the Northern Alliance Committee petitioned the Senate, alleging that Njida, who had served as executive chairman and acting CEO, was removed without adherence to the ELRA Act and relevant public service rules. At Wednesday's sitting of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions, chaired by Senator Neda Imasuen, the committee reviewed the petition, urging lawmakers to intervene and direct Njida's reinstatement pending amendment to the ERA Act. The Senate panel adjourned the matter for 1 month to allow room for reconciliation, warning that a full-scale review will be launched if the parties fail to reach an agreement. Governor Abba Yusuf on Wednesday presented the 1.368 trillion naira proposed budget for the 2026 fiscal year to the Kano State House of Assembly, describing it as a covenant to consolidate gains, complete key projects, and build lasting systems that serve generations to come. The budget tacked a budget of infrastructure, inclusive growth, and sustainable development, prioritizes capital projects with 934.64 billion naira earmarked for capital expenditure and 433.48 billion naira for recurrent spending, reflecting a 68 to 32 capital to recurrent ratio. Governor Yusuf said the structure of the budget underscores his administration's commitment to development-focused spending. He noted that it was built around completing legacy projects, consolidating gains, and enabling new initiatives. A significant portion of the budget is directed at the social and economic sectors, while education, health, and infrastructure receive the highest allocations. In a similar development, Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefes on Wednesday presented the total of 650.63 billion naira 2026 budget to the State House of Assembly. The governor said the 2026 budget was designed to fast-track the state development and improve the welfare of its residents. TAC 2026 budget of demonstration, the governor said his administration was committed to capital dominance and fiscal policy, promised to change the state infrastructure, energy expansion, and social development across the state. KFAX explained that 457.74 billion naira of the budget will go into capital projects, while 192.89 billion naira is earmarked for recurrent expenditure. The governor highlighted that the budget will be funded through a mix of FARC allocations, internally generated revenue, aids, and grants, and capital development received, while also expanding digital revenue systems and new streams in agriculture, mining, property, business, and tourism. The proposed budget prioritizes roads and transport with 19.84%, education and skill development have 15.98%, healthcare 6.19%, agriculture and food security 4.83%, water and sanitation 3.19%, security and emergency services 2.96%.
To deepen digital revenue systems, block leakages, and expand revenue streams in agriculture, mining, property, business, and tourism. Our sectoral priorities for 2026 will be 1. Road and transport 19.84%. Education and skill development 15.98%. Healthcare 6.19%. Agriculture and food security 4.83%. Water and sanitation 3.19%. Security, emergency and protection 2.96%. Energy and electrifications, Mr. Speaker, Honorable House, is a force that we have to reckon with, because energy is the backbone of development. Therefore, our 2026 budget focus includes solar mini-grids, hybrid rural electrification, street lighting for security, power for schools, power for hospitals, power for markets, and agro-processing areas. Preparatory works for small hydro power and green energy jobs also for the youth. Although we still have other critical enablers, which are digital governance, which include Taraba Geographic Information System, Taraba State Data and Intelligence Council, environment and climate protection, commerce and industry, women affairs, justice and social protection. All these form the support architecture for a modern Taraba.
Washington State University will tomorrow, 20th of November 2025, hold its 27th inaugural lecture. The topic of the lecture is the heart and its myriad risk factors, protecting the wellspring of life from the shadows of sudden death. A notice about the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Odunayo Adeboye, said it will be delivered by Professor Patience Olayinka Kewusi, a professor of medicine and cardiology. The lecture will hold at Olagunsoye Oyinlola Auditorium, main campus, Osogbo, by 2 p.m. And still to come, the lawmaker representing Enugu North, Senator Oke Ezia, dies in Lagos State while receiving medical treatment. We'll bring you more on these when we return. Stay with us.